Hey everybody. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about my project, my latest project for Vision Tek. Okay, for this project, obviously, I wanted to do Photoshop. The main reason that I wanted to do it was because I was very unfamiliar with the program, and I just wanted to get more comfortable with it. And I also thought, why not? I could also expand my use of digital photography on a DSLR. So I decided to take all my own pictures. So I pretty much wanted to do some sort of projects just to get more familiar with it. So my first project that I did was a miniature, and the second was a dispersion effect. So here's some of the tutorials that I used, which they were really helpful, especially some of the lighting ones, and really helpful tutorials. So the tools that I used, obviously DSLR camera with tripod and lights, and obviously the Photoshop. Okay, so for my project plan for week 1, my main goal was to start the miniature project, research, and take pictures. I was right on pace on this project. Here's a couple screenshots of my some of my practice tutorials that I followed. So yeah, so here are the original pictures that I took for my project. Yeah, so I took these down at the church, and here's the one of me. Funny story, I had to have my feet dangling, so there wasn't a chair tall enough for that to happen at Vision Tek, so I had to stack two on top of each other, and I felt like I was going to fall off every time I sat on it. So for week 2, my goal was to finish the miniature project and import the pictures and edit them. So this is the kind of the look I was going for, okay? So basically all 3 of those pictures that I showed you are going to hopefully combine to form something like this. And at the end of this week, this is what I came up with. So yeah, I'm really pleased with it. It turned out really good. I'm happy with it. How I did it. So, obviously I combined, I cut out myself and put it over these pictures right here. Um, the hardest part about this was lighting and shadows for that part. And I did have a tutorial that I found on lighting tips, which was extremely helpful. But the biggest thing is to keep your lighting consistent. So for this picture of me, maybe I can go back. Yeah, you can see there's one light right here, and I kind of screwed up. I should have turned off the light, but there's one light coming in from over here, and the rest of it you can see is kind of shadowed around there. There's one strong light source. So that means I had to mimic that same lighting for these photos. So I brought that exact same light over to the church and set it up, and I mimicked the same lighting. So yeah, so you have to keep your lighting consistent. Now, along with that, let's say you keep your lighting consistent and you put everything in Photoshop and you're still not happy with it because it looks like this. It looks really bad. It looks like you just put a picture on top of another picture. That's completely normal. So what you have to do is add shadows and fill in the details. So the lighting is coming in from this way, from this direction. So that means that I needed obviously some shadows back here for my legs, which is really important. So I added a shadow right there, and then I needed a shadow behind me, behind my back. So I added one there, and then also I also need a shadow that was outlining the outside of my body. So that's that final shadow. And they all combine, and I think that looks really good. I think it looks really realistic, and I'm really, really, really proud of it. So that was definitely the hardest part, and that took hours. It really did, just to get the hang of it, and how to make it look realistic and not stand out. So yeah, that was my first project. So for week 3, my goal was to start the Dispersion project and research and take pictures. So here's my original picture for the Dispersion. It took me forever to get a good picture because I was trying to play 2 people, even though I'm only 1 person. So I would try to take the picture, run around, look at it, adjust the lighting just a little bit, then have someone take the picture, run around, adjust it. I mean, it took literally an entire block day, and so I still didn't get a picture I enjoyed. So I decided to get a camera that had a flip around screen, and that really helped me. I'm also really proud of this picture because I learned in my last project that lighting is important. So I added kind of just an interesting lighting thing with kind of an uneven lighting surface, I guess. Half my face is kind of shadowed, and I don't know. I'm really proud of the lighting I used. So week 4, the goal was to finish the Dispersion project and import the pictures. So this was kind of the idea I was going for on the Dispersion project. Um, that's kind of a similar idea, and this is what I ended up with. Again, I'm really proud of it. I really am. So, let me show you how I did this. Okay, so the Dispersion project is it's kind of interesting. Takes a while to kind of wrap your head around it, but the first thing I did was, well, you first need to smear the original picture. And it's kind of hard to explain that, but basically, I just took a brush, or I guess it's a brush. I'm not really sure, but and it would smear the picture, so my face would just be expanding all across this area right here. And then you also need to cut out yourself, so yeah, and put yourself on a different layer. So basically, how do you do this? I mean, it took a lot of time, but eventually, what you're doing here is take a brush. You just kind of slowly erase away at the top layer, and what will be under that layer is your smeared layer of yourself, and that's why it's got the same color as here, because I smeared it. I'm really proud of it. And then how do you do the inverse of that? You go on here. It's simple because you have a cutout version of yourself, so that means you just take the brush, or go on another layer, the layer of just yourself, and that brush will slowly erase away yourself and reveal the background. And so, yeah, and so it's actually kind of a simple concept, but it took a lot of time and a lot of patience to get this, and I'm really proud of it, but it just took a lot of time, especially a lot of time just to get my head around what I was doing. But once when I got the hang of it, things started rolling pretty quickly. So, the lessons I learned. I learned that lighting is really important. Yeah, I mean, you need to keep your lighting consistent. And what would I do differently? I would have observed the lighting more on my first project, on the picture of me, because I started mixing lighting, and it, I'm not really that proud of it. So I wish I could have retaken that picture, and I think it would have made just the picture itself, the entire project, look a little better. And my most successful moment was obviously finishing both projects, but I was especially proud after I finished the shadows on my first project, because that took hours and hours of time, and I understood what to do, but just making it look good just took a really long time to get the hang of. So yeah, that is my 4-week project. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you on the next Void project.